Family and friends gathered at the Hong Kong Veterans Memorial in Ottawa on December 10th to pay tribute to the nearly 2,000 Canadian soldiers who fought alongside the British, defending the island of Hong Kong against the Japanese invasion. On Christmas Day, 1941, the Allies were forced to surrender.
It's a solemn day because we're having an opportunity to remember Canadian veterans who fought in the Battle of Hong Kong.
Our dad died as a prisoner of war in Hong Kong. He died in '42.
We never knew the man, and he's on the wall, and in respect of that, we're here. Yeah.
Here he is in the capsule with his name on the wall. It means a lot.
On December 8th, 2 days before this ceremony, Japan formally apologized to the Canadian Hong Kong veterans for the atrocities committed by Japan while the Canadians were held as prisoners of war. Darrell Henderson, the son of a Hong Kong veteran, read the apology delivered in Tokyo by Japan's Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Toshiyuki Kato.
I want to express deep remorse and heartfelt apology for the treatment received by former Canadian prisoners of war. With that sentence, 70 years of history was made.
The apology was accepted by the Hong Kong Veterans of Canada on behalf of all Canadian military personnel who were prisoners of war in the Far East during the Second World War. Representatives of the group were in Japan for a commemorative visit during what marks the 70th anniversary of the Battle of Hong Kong.
I don't think those three veterans were alone in that room. They felt that when the words they spoke, they were speaking for all those that could not be there.
For many years following the end of the Second World War, the Hong Kong veterans, in conjunction with the war amps, had pursued financial compensation and an appropriate apology from the Japanese for the abuse and violations of human rights meted out by the Japanese to the Canadian POWs during 4 years of captivity. In what was exposed as grave breaches of the Geneva Convention, the POWs received a starvation diet, medical supplies were withheld, and all prisoners were forced into slave labor. Many POWs died in the Japanese camps, and the greater majority suffered severe disabilities which impacted their entire lives. The War Amps Joint Initiative led to the UN Human Rights Commission ruling brought down in 1987, citing the Japanese for systemic violations of human rights and maltreatment. Japan refused to provide compensation. In 1988, the Canadian government paid $24,000 to each surviving Hong Kong veteran or their widow. But the apology from Japan remained outstanding.
The veterans said they hold no animosity to today's people of Japan. What they really despise and cannot forgive or forget was the military that ran the country at the time.
The War Amps, which stood shoulder to shoulder with the Hong Kong veterans in seeking redress and recognition, was pleased with the long-awaited apology. It was also supported by the National Council of Veteran Associations, representing 58 member organizations.
We will do this every year on this December the 8th to commemorate.
It means a lot to be a part of this because it keeps us remembering. There's always that person who's missing from the family gatherings and that sort of thing. So it's always nice to sort of remember.
The War Amps told the story of the Hong Kong veterans and the fight for compensation in a documentary called Canada's Hong Kong Veterans, The Compensation Story.